Hey guys, it's Sunday. The weekend's almost coming to an end. That melancholy feeling of having to go back to work on Monday. But at least it's a good afternoon to play with some toys. So, in follow up to my most recent mecha video, I've pulled out some of the robots that I had a plan for, and I figured I'd show you the plan in the rough here. So I love Jawas, and I don't like the idea of every Jawa tribe having a sand crawler. So what I did in my world building scenario, I have earthbound things and things from every sci-fi movie that I've ever loved, and things from these original properties that action figure creators make, such as Acid Rain and things like that. So I'm going to incorporate that all into my world building. And part of the Jawas in my world gather scrap that is also earthbound scrap that somehow made its way across the galaxy. And the plan here is to create a salvage vehicle. I'm going to call it like the Salvage Claw. I'll put a claw-like mechanism on here. And it will be pulled by busted up, old, defunct, but still functioning droids that are being patched together. So these are some of the droids that I pulled apart from various sources, and I figured eventually they'll all get customized paint treatments. And the idea here is to make these guys like beasts of burden, like this is an oxen cart. And they'll be all bridled together and chained to this tank. The droids are functioning, but the tank actually doesn't drive under its own power. So the Jawas have retrofitted it with these monster truck wheels, and they pull the droids pull this crane device around the wastelands and salvage stuff. So what I did here was I actually have a tank from Rogue One, I believe. I don't remember. All right, so let's back up a little. I have a couple of 1/16 scale radio-controlled World War II Sherman tanks. One of them I upgraded over the years with a metal body, so I wound up having a spare plastic body for it. Another line of World War II action figures I have is a German tank ace who is sitting on a British Cromwell tank turret in destroyed fashion. As you see, there's a shell hole right in the side. The figure's name is Michael Whitman. So this is part of the diorama. Not wanting to make good parts go to waste, I combined the two. And this is a Playmobil crane type of thing. So I have to come up with either a claw or a hook or some sort of metal basket or something that they use to capture droids. And I will probably fabricate a basket or a trailer back here for the wandering wasteland droids and other salvage goodies the Jawas have come across. Sometimes I don't like the goofy sort of lure or the comic relief scenes that they create around the Jawas. If these characters are capable enough to operate that giant sandcrawler in the original Star Wars, then I think they're a pretty technically advanced species, and they're excellent fabricators, and that's what I want to capitalize on, is how they are full of ingenuity. So eventually I will chain all these guys together. I think what's sort of slowing me down here is, other than my typical distraction process, is I can't find a good chain that I think would look sci-fi quality enough. I don't really want to go with a traditional earth-looking chain. I'd actually like to find something that looks like it was out of Lord of the Rings or something like that. So I'm on the search for a chain that's somewhat unorthodox and proper scale that I can link all these guys together with. So some of my unique Jawa figures here. This guy comes from Super 7, but I'm making him a Jawa. He's actually like a human height guy, and he's one of Super 7's the worst. And in my lore here, he is a foreigner to the Jawas, but he has gone native and he's embraced their culture and adopted their ways, and he is now part of the Jawa tribe. All sorts of different Jawas from different lines. I think I have a die-cast metal one in here somewhere. I have this chubby little Jawa guy, which came from a non-Hasbro line. I have all the Jawas I can find. So I even have who I call my King Jawa. He is king of the tribe, and that's the guy in the vinyl cape. That of course that's a reproduction vinyl cape, but that's an original Jawa, and he's absolute king of this tribe based on his wealth. And next to him is my childhood Jawa, complete with his original cloth cloak and gun, and this is his personal bodyguard. So in this aspect, Jawas, in my opinion, would be a little bit like Ferengi in this tribe, where the one with the most wealth wins. So let me back out a little here, and I'll take this thing apart. This is just sort of placed together right now, but I'll take all these Jawas off, and I'll show you how things are put together underneath. And then I'll paint all this stuff up like I'm gonna go with like a desert mud coated dried mud paint treatment with a pattern. I have an actual tank from one of the Israeli wars of the 60s and 70s that I'm going to emulate there with the paint treatment. So this is the Playmobil crane. This came off of like some tow truck or something like that. I buy a bunch of lots of toys. I shouldn't say I buy a bunch. I used to buy occasional lots of toys and Playmobil stuff just to get the parts for things that I wanted to complete. And there'd always be other things in there. This was one of the other things. I think it was like from some sort of lull, if you guys know what a lull is on a construction site. So, and this is the Cromwell tank, which was part of a diorama. So it had all these parts missing. The white parts I filled in as styrene, and I'll have to pack them out yet if I want to make it look, either that or I'll do like a simulated weld along there that the Jawas have done. But this sat at an odd angle, and Michael Whitman, the tank ace, was triumphantly sitting and smoking a cigarette upon this as one of his spoils of war, so to speak. So this is the Sherman tank hull. This is a 1/16 scale one, and this is the Imperial laser tank or whatever it was from one of the newer Star Wars movies. I'd stripped out a lot of the parts that I thought would be useful otherwise, and the cargo containers that this came with I have elsewhere. This is actually a really nicely detailed toy. I just don't like the tank. I think the tank is it's not my aesthetics. But however, as part of a hull for a greater tank, it's just fine. And then these are just 1/16 scale monster truck wheels and tires. And let me see, I used some suspension parts from a Brooder Jeep that I cannibalized, and they're just brass rods that puncture into the rims of the monster truck tires, and then it all sort of clicks together. I have to come up with some sort of better suspension solution here. I'll probably, especially for the middle wheel, it's just sort of rolling around, set in place for the photos. But I'll have to run some sort of tubing or something and get it so it all stays together. So of course nothing's glued. This is just a sort of a concept model. And actually these paint colors are very similar to ultimately what I want to go with the whole tank when it's done. And the droids as well. The droids will be definitely sun-beaten, weather-worn, and I might not even make them like desert. I might make them like just sort of if you can imagine like a North American temperate wasteland where maybe all the foliage has just been scrubbed from the environment, and some sort of post-apocalyptic kind of scenario. But that's that's it for the potential project, and I always enjoy seeing you guys work in progress, and hopefully I'll finish this one day. All right, have a great rest of your weekend.